If you're an existing employee benefit advisor, broker, working for a big company, why would you change your model? Why wouldn't you continue
Easier to retire to the Bahamas.
Yeah. Hey, everyone leaves every 4 years now, right? No one's working for the same company. What's the chance that I'm going to get busted for any of these things that have happened? The first thing that needs to happen is every company out there that has or runs an employee benefit plan, a welfare plan, a pharmacy benefit management plan, a retirement plan even, you need to make sure that there is a named fiduciary, that somebody is held accountable. Secondarily,
so in case someone left,
your data, right? You need your data,
right?
And you need to get it in. You need to ask for it, and if you ask for it and they don't give it to you, then you need to reach out to the Department of Labor and complain. And it's hard to do that because if you're an existing CHRO or benefits person and this happens and they find out how much money you've wasted over the years, right? If you do an audit and you see,
yeah, we've lost 20 million in the last 5 years.
Which
is not that surprising.
They're worried. So the only way out of this, really, the only way to fix this and address this is for the brokers and advisors to step in and do what they're supposed to do, which is to say, look, it may not have been done right in the past, but we're willing to do it right from here on. Don't hurt us, right?
Right.
And I don't know that they're going to be willing to do that, and I don't know that I would be willing to do that if I didn't have a brand new company. If I had a brand new company, I'm able, because I'm small, to do that.
Right.
They're not going to be able to do that because they have too much
risk.
Tail risk. And look up the definition of tail risk. It's basically what happens from what happened before. You see this a lot with malpractice insurance for doctors. A doctor might have an insurance policy that covers them up until the date that they're done doing it, but it doesn't cover prior acts. And so when they go to work,
it sounds more like tech debt instead of tail risk. Tail risk is a giant pig in a python. That's 3 standard deviations off of what you expected.
So tail risk is where
tail risk. So it might be different.
Yeah, different. Tail risk is that you basically are not covered for any stuff that you did in the past.
Okay.
So moving forward, they could be perfectly compliant, but all of their clients from the past, they have been taking that undisclosed compensation. They can't be a fiduciary on those plans.
We should argue about that later on, because if you're using that word and it's not what other people are using. They're saying basically it's the black swan event that you couldn't have guessed, which kind of fits into what you're saying, but you're saying, no, it's tech debt. This is your risk that's going to sit there, period. It doesn't go away.
You murdered somebody 20 years ago, and somebody found out because you sent in a Forever 23 or whatever it is, Forever 23 and Me or whatever.
Turns out it was your cousin.
And it turns out, but like, that's the tail risk. You might get caught.
The good news is that your cousin wasn't actually your uncle's, so it's not you.
Well, there's that. There's that. Yeah. So
okay,
that's what tail risk.
Let me tell you a story about this sweet little HR girl. She went to a conference in Washington, D.C. She worked for a large staffing firm, and they went to an HR conference, and they were talking about IRS risk. This was in the early 2000s. Mm-hmm. Might even be the late 90s. And she unfortunately was sat next to a government agent who worked for the Internal Revenue Service. And so while she's sitting there striking up a conversation with this random agent, you can see where this is going, right? She starts asking questions based on what was pitched in the seminar, and finds out that, oh my God, my company has been out of compliance for years. So they go to the IRS and they say, what we're going to do here, why don't we pay a large fine? I think it was like $10 million. $10 million, but we're in full compliance. Mm-hmm. And they were really like, this is going to be great because all of our competitors are going to get crushed by this. What happened, Frank?
Nobody did anything.
Well, they paid the $10 million.
Yeah, but no one else got in
trouble. They did pay the $10 million. Yeah. Nobody else was even called, because the whole point was like, if you're going to hand somebody money in their lap, they're going to take it. Mm-hmm. But actually proving or going through it is so much of another issue. Is this one? I mean, because it was clear that that was in the law. Mm-hmm. They identified it. It's unfortunate that she
self-disclosed. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, it didn't cost her anything. I don't know. They didn't tell us what happened to her.
This has been going on for years, and that's my point. Is like, if you're an existing employee benefit advisor, broker, working for a big company, why would you change your model? Why wouldn't you continue
Easier to retire to
do,
Bahamas.
Yeah. I mean, hey, everyone leaves every 4 years now, right? No one's working for the same company. What's the chance that I'm going to get, busted for any of these things that have happened? Well, hopefully that happens for you. But in the case that we know that the government is now looking, they're going to find this.
It's not like mortgage servicers where they can just hide it away and give you a new one.
I mean, this would be so good for so many companies because we've discussed that the amount of money that could be saved here, right?
Yeah, it's $1,000 easily per employee.
And if you can do that,
well, not easily, but
it depends on the size of the plan, right?
Yeah,
but
two to 10,000,
for the
millions
vast
of dollars.
Majority of companies that are not the 100,000, 200,000 life plans. Those are the ones. The smaller plans are the ones that are subsidizing the larger plans. And if we are able to fix this, just think of how much more money productively can go to things that really are, as opposed to going to the three of the top 20 companies in the world that, based on the fact that they're able to charge what they do because it's health. And we will pay any amount of money for drugs, right? And for health.
Hey, thanks for watching The Merge. We've got a ton more stuff for you to watch on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, everywhere. Check us out.